Hey everyone and welcome. My name is Carlo Libertini and I'm super excited to share this with you. We're going to go on a journey, a multi-dimensional, organic, otherworldly trip together using Atoms here by the great folks at Baby Audio. Now, what Atoms is, it's a truly groundbreaking, unique kind of organic synthesizer, if you will. And it's really unique sounding because it's based on cutting-edge technologies of physical modeling. We're talking masses and springs here. And it simulates a virtual structure that's being like vibrated and energized, if you will. Think of a big bow on a large stringed instrument, but one like you've never heard before. And so speaking of which, why don't we take a quick listen to Atoms? I set up a session here. And as you see here on track 1, I set up a stack of notes. Here's a B scale, D major, F major, and an F major to really give us a lot of harmonic richness. Now, the pad sounds you're about to hear are all coming from Atoms, but I've got a drum track here, and I've got a eerie kind of neat flute track happening too. So the flute isn't part of Atoms, but the pad texture that we're listening for to get started with is. All right, let's take a listen. I love the graphical display here. Now we're going to switch to the D major scale. Amazing. Now we're going to go to the F major scale. Let's do that again. Now, if you noticed, that was all on the same preset here. I didn't change presets, yet based on the melody, the musical content, it created something different for us every time. I told you this was multidimensional and otherworldly. This is really groundbreaking and truly unique. All right, before we hear a little bit more, let's talk about some of the features here. Now, what we're looking at is the interface itself. And if you noticed, obviously there's a real-time particle display here that I really love. And there's a way to there's an eco mode for you to turn that on and off if you have to conserve some energy. And if you want to see, it's right here. There's a little eco mode. If you disable this, then it cuts it down a little bit to give you some more CPU conservative resources. So that's one little tip I wanted to show you with. And again, that's right here. And if you notice, I have tooltips activated, okay? So when you hover on something right down here in this area, it gives you some information regarding what you're hovering over. I love that because when you're talking about a virtual instrument as unique as Atoms, it's gonna be truly helpful and will be one of your best friends. So speaking of which, you can also at any time activate the quick start guide to scroll through some of the parameters and understand exactly what they are. So what we're looking at here is highlighting the top area. This is where you kind of create your virtual instrument using these 6 parameter settings. And once you create it, down below, you have further adjustments to adjust manipulation of the modulation. You can add reverb, the attack, even change the octaves. So basically you start by creating a virtual instrument and then you can process it as a single instrument at the bottom here, at the bottom section. So let's talk about what chaos is. Chaos, according to the manual, it's like pushing the springs of the physical mass modeling unit closer together. So it creates more like a detuning effects and glides. And next we have order, and this is like a low pass filter that creates more dampening, if you will, because high frequencies tend to decay over more time. So you can adjust for that here. Now we also have force. This is the modeling of the force. Remember I mentioned earlier about the bow? Well, the stronger you bow, the more force, the more you energize the harmonics. So you can control the amount of force of the virtual bow performing this physically modeled spring and mass instrument. And then, of course, overtones. This is like if you were to bow your instrument closer to the bridge, it would be a little more higher in timbre. So you can adjust the variations and the overtones that you're exciting them in a bright way or a darker way. So again, a little goes a long way, and I would recommend testing these all out if you want to really just understand and experience them for yourself, which we will. And drive is like enhancing the harmonics, that you're exciting more of the harmonics or bringing them down. So again, little does go a long way there. And then of course, filter is like a low pass filter. There's another tip. You can actually automate this as an LFO sweep for filter sweeps. So with these parameters here, you can actually do quite a bit. And then of course, in the middle, we have the real-time graphical display. Did you notice on the second one here, it had the popping sound? Well, watch as the graphical display accurately represents what we're hearing, in my opinion. Check it out. Really cool. Let's try the first one here. Again, same preset, but it sounds like a different instrument based on the musical content, the harmonics that we're feeding it based on these different scales that I wanted to use for this presentation. Here's the F major with this preset. Truly unique. I gotta tell you, man, I love spending time with this. It really is just absolutely fun to use and powerful. All right, now a little bit more about the interface. One of my favorite features is the randomize here. It's a little miniature picture of a dice. So when you activate this, all the parameters just randomize. That's so cool. Let's try a different one. I like that one. Now, why randomize? I feel this is very highly intelligent on Baby Audio's part. Why? Because this is, again, very unique, very creative, and these parameters are kind of like, you know, when you sum them together, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, is what I'm saying. So if you're just one thing, just very little, it could have a greater effect. That's why I like randomizing. And what I'll do now is I would come up to save and save something. So when you randomize a sound and you like it, I would recommend saving it immediately here in the preset browser. Now this browser is super intuitive and it comes loaded and packed with lots to get started with. You can download more banks if you wanted. So to get started, here's the factory ones, and here are some of the other ones that come with it. You could save your preset, give it any title you want, and then just put it right in. Okay, we'll get more on the preset in just a minute. Now, what this is going to do is create a new variation. Again, very intuitive on Baby Audio's part. So if you like what it's giving you, but you want to alter it slightly and don't know where to start, then you can press this button right here to create a different variation, and the parameters tweak ever so slightly each one. So I know it's going to still give me that low eerie tone that I wanted, but it might be closer to what I'm really truly looking for. And then again, you can save that again. Let's add a variation to that one. Listen closely. It's kind of like a voice style pad there. So by randomizing is a great way to jumpstart your creativity, and then using the slight variations as a way to conform those a little bit. Then you can manually go in here and adjust the overtones or the order. You can also adjust the motion here. You got sine, saw wave, or drifting. Under chaos, and I love the way they titled these parameters. It is really groundbreaking. And then, of course, undo, and then you can open a quick start at any time. MPE, obviously, for your expression. And then you could toggle between monophonic and polyphonic mode. Here you can adjust the tuning. Right here, you can adjust it, I believe, up to, what was it? Up to plus or minus 50 cents. Okay, and then here's the eco mode right here. So when you want to conserve a little CPU if you have to. Tooltips on and off. Panic button. This is when you want to know. It's a little exclamation point. Because believe it or not, like under, I think it's movement here, you could actually, undulating movement, let me see, creates a sound effect. Some of these parameters, you can have infinite decay. I mean, it could literally just go on forever, like it's on hold. But as things build up too much, if these virtual particles build up too much, then you can just hit this panic button right here. Let's do a presentation of that. And it'll stop everything for you immediately. Should probably make that one a little bit bigger, baby audio. I'm just kidding. And then of course here you can change the color from light mode to dark mode. I love how you can do that. And you can also change the size, variable scaling with the graphical user interface, which I always appreciate. Thank you, baby audio. All right, let's get into some of the presets now because we talked about those before. Now, the ones that come with it, here we got bass, effects, keys, lead, pad, sequences. It goes on and on. It comes with some factory presets and a pack here, and you can get more packs if you wanted. Let's bring this down to some of these sequences here. Let's try a different one. Singing drill. All right, let's take a listen to this one right here. And you can change presets at any time in the middle of the playback. And again, these are under the sequences that we're using. That's a good one. That was called Aerial Warfare in the sequence. Let's go to pad, static drama. Oh man, did I mention unique? Let's try this with Magic Piano. So you can load a preset, and if you like it, remember, you can use the variation button to tweak it just slightly automatically. Let's bring our drums in. Let's hit the next one, D major. Ready? This would be great for like science fiction galore. Think about that. Now, another thing I should mention here is that it has built-in automation. So this virtual instrument has a lot of movement built into it. It's highly intuitive, super musical, and again, a little does go a long way, and I kind of like that. Now, we didn't talk about the bottom panel yet, so why don't we get into that? Let's go up to, let's pick a, let's see, Alien Atmosphere. Let's try this one. Yeah. I could do this all day long. Okay, so let's start with this one's called 2024 Bowed Steel. Now, the bottom panel here, I love this. Check it out. We're going to go from left to right. Root, this is where you're going to choose the octave range. If I choose the highest octave range, it's really going to change the sound. So this is what we started with here in the middle, octave range. And I'm going to go all the way up. So it's very symphonic, this patch. And you can go low. I don't know if we'll be able to hear this much low end. Let's see. Oh. It's just totally different. Of course it is. It's atoms. There's nothing like it. Oh boy. So sci-fi. Now what the profile is going to do next to it, you'll see here we have standard, inharmonic, lo-fi, and alternative. It's going to give you different arrangements of the virtual mass spring network. So if you were to rearrange them in a real physical experience, obviously you would get different tones. Let's start with this one, standard. Let's go to in harmonic. A little bit different. Let's go to lo-fi. Oh, there's a lot of low end there. Hopefully you're listening to this in headphones or really good studio speakers with the sub. Oh, again, so otherworldly, really great. I'm going to go back to standard. Now, attack, because it's based on physical modeling of the mass springs model, the attack is like how sudden or gradual the bow is going to be creating the vibrational energy to manifest these tones. So if you wanted a shorter attack or more gradual, be more like a pad. Let's see if this affects it a little bit. Maybe not with this particular preset, but there, made more of a pad out of it there. And the release is all about dampening. As I mentioned before, you can have shorter decays, or you can even have an infinite right here, which could really just go on and on. That's what that panic button's for right there. I can still hear it. I can still hear it. Nice. I'm going to shorten that one a little bit too. Now the movement's going to alter the depth and speed of the virtual bow action to produce anything from kind of motion, if you will. So let's see. Let's bring that up a little bit. Very subtle, but I can hear that. Now the modulation is going to create kind of a chorus effect by like, rather than adding a chorus to it, it's based on physical modeling, remember? It's going to change the listener's perspective. If you're actually standing in front of this physically modeled instrument, if you were to move, you might be shifting things in a phase-wise related to the environment. So it's based on the listener's position. Oh, that gets so low. Now the vibrato here, the next one, it describes the varying of the springs to stiffness to create particular pitch modulation. And of course, space. This is where you're going to be able to put it in a space. Think of it as reverb. And you can adjust the, right here with the XY pad, the mix and size control. So you can actually move, maybe I would say the instrument in a room, if you will, to create different kind of room ambiance and tone if you want. And of course, an output level meter here. All right, now, I told you this is really otherworldly. Let's try a different, let's listen to this right here. Let's mute these and let me solo this one and bring it up on this track for some more varying. Here we go. Right here. Excuse me. It's not all about eeriness, although this could be considered eerie. Right now you can see we're under keys, epilogue. Why do I recommend starting with presets, especially with something as unique as this? Well, it's simple because it always jumpstart your creativity. Now, this isn't a typical kind of compressor or a reverb or an EQ. This is a brand new, this is a brand new instrument, if you will. So I definitely recommend check out the presets. And when you find one you like, utilize the variations here. You can get a new variation tool on that just by simply clicking it. Do it again. One more time. Undo. and go back to the previous variation right there. And there you have it. I can just imagine, seriously, how much work and time goes into creating something as original as this, based on pure physical modeling of a brand new instrument type, based on, you know, vibrating it with like a massive bow. This is something that I think is going to really add something unique to your virtual instrument collection, because it is so different. I mean, you could have plenty of other types of virtual instruments, but you'll only have one Atoms by Baby audio. But of course, the best way is to always find out for yourself. I suggest you visit some of the links below. Don't forget to visit babyaudio.com for more information and download a demo today. But definitely never forget to stay busy and stay creative. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching.